with your number 10 shooting guard.
Yeah, Cam. Just barely making the cut here for me at number 10 is Jalen Green, who, of course, is now on the Phoenix Suns. Last year on the Houston Rockets, and yeah, he just barely made the cut because, I mean, he did have a nice regular season last year. He scored the ball well. I mean, scored it pretty well on nights for teams that don't
Yeah, he
really
was, I
have
think, the
much
sixth.
great scores. That was like impressive. We talked about that in the pre-pad lobby as being impressive from him in the regular season. Yeah, the playoffs were just disappointing. I mean, look, if he had a pretty good playoff, he could have been rated higher on this list for me.
Yeah, Nick, what were you about to say? He was sixth in this position in scoring in the league this season, correct?
Yeah, I mean that's right. He's still only like 22 or 23, and always I thought had shades of Zach LaVine in him, and well, if you can model your game off that guy, like he's going to be someone we mentioned later on our list, couple time All Star. So still a lot of room for him to grow and improve, and we'll see what he's got with the Phoenix Bums out there this year. Maybe in a couple years he'll have another chance to show what he's got in the playoffs.
Season he averaged 13 points per game in the Warriors series, and that included like a 40-point game or something like that.
Right.
The 38-point game in game 2, which means, let's see, so 38 in game 2. Quick math here, he scored 45 points in the other 6 games of the series. Like that's just not going to cut it, and that's the reason why he didn't make the cut for my list. My number 10, I have someone that was probably the complete opposite of Jalen Green, someone who had a pretty subpar regular season, but once again stepped up a bunch in the playoffs. I've got Andrew Nembhard at number 10. He made my list at number 10. And that's
I wanted to put him on so bad.
He just missed mine. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I thought I should give him some love here, but for the playoffs that he had last year. I mean, once again, another weird circumstance where he shoots like 29-30% from 3, and then immediately in the playoffs starts hitting dagger shots, shoots like 50% from 3 nearly in the playoffs. It's crazy. So for him, I have him at number 10, and honestly, with the Halliburton injury this season, I would be very surprised if he wasn't a lock on this list at this time next year, because he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. And he is definitely someone that should be a low-key candidate to make his first All-Star game, especially in a weaker Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I love the pick. I went with Derek White here, though.
I also did, and for kind of the same exact reason Miles was saying, like about Nembhard. Like, next year, the Celtics are going to have to rely on him to be scoring, and maybe a potential All-Star for the first time.
Yeah, I actually have Derek White a little higher on the list for those same reasons as well. So I have him pretty high on this list, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Ben, who is your number 9?
Number 9, I have Norman Powell.
Me too, Ben.
Hey,
all 3 of us.
Nice.
Do I have it? Oh, he's on mine too. He's number 9 for me. All right. Across the board, Stormin' Norman at number 9, man. Wow.
I thought there was going to be more parity than this. Look at us. Look at us. Yeah. Ben, tell us about Norm. He had a great year for the Clippers, huh?
He had a great year for the Clippers. I was especially impressed with him in the beginning of the year. Him alongside James Harden really stepped up and scored the ball great while Kawhi was out to start the year, and he plays a good defense too last year to Norman Powell. And yeah, I mean, he just played better than I expected last year. Like, a lot of people thought, and he was scoring pretty good throughout the season and plays good defense, brings a good attitude. And, I'm projecting going to next year that he could do that same kind of stuff for the Miami Heat.
Hey, Nick, who is your number 8 shooting guard?
All right. I went with Amen Thompson. His third year.
Hold on,
Nick. Is Amen not a small forward?
Yeah.
Okay, well then scratch that. I'll go with RJ Barrett here then.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Just so that it doesn't get confusing later. Did you already have RJ Barrett on your list?
No, he was the first one off.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, so that works. I also have RJ Barrett at number 8, so works out at another good year for Toronto. Another pretty decent, efficient year. Can score with the ball in his hands, make plays for his teammates, can rebound pretty well. It's just, it's kind of difficult to get, a lot of my list is impact on winning. And when you play for the Raptors, especially last year, it was kind of hard to gauge that sort of thing when you're on a rebuilding team. So that's why I have him at number 8 and not any higher, even with the stats that he averaged. Still, very good year for Toronto. Excited to see if he can impact some winning potentially next year for that Raptors team, because they are sneaky. They definitely could have potential to sneak up the East.
But my number 8 is actually Dyson Daniels.
Nice.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was someone I had in the conversation. I would have put Nembhard over him if you didn't have Nembhard on your list. I would definitely put. What's your case for Daniels over Nembhard then?
Well, second in defensive player of the year voting, all defensive first team, and most improved player award. Like, he, in the increased role, he went from just under 6 points a game to 14 and became an elite defender. And we all expect, I know we say this almost every year, but I don't know about y'all, but I expect big things out of the Hawks this year with Trae Young and Daniels in that backcourt. Reese
Smoke and mirrors.
Like, I don't know, man.
Absolutely. But Ben, who is your number 8?
My number 8 is Kobe White of the Chicago Bulls.
Whoa.
Last year, he had, another nice year for him. He averaged, 20.4 points per game. That's nice. Continued to be a pretty good scorer for them, and he was still able to step it up after they traded away Zach LaVine during the trade deadline with the scoring, and did well. And the Bulls were, kind of somewhat competitive, partly because of his pretty good scoring. So that's what I got.
Yeah. I love the pull, or I love the pick here at number 8 for Kobe White. Definitely a guy who's, like, talk about Dyson Daniels, who's been improving each year he's been in the league. Kobe White's just gotten better and better, and coming out of UNC, I don't know if I saw him averaging 20 points in the league ever, but sure did last year.
Yeah, I love the pick. Hey, Nick, you talked about the parity. We are 3 spots into this list collectively, and that's the 7th different player that we've mentioned. So it shows the parity with this position.
Maybe what are we at? Maybe there'll only be 7 more names if we all got the same 7 top guys. How about that?
It definitely could be now that we are at number 7. So Nick, who is your number 7?
Barrett, so at 7.
Okay, so Nick, who is your number 7?
This is where I put Desmond Bane, and this was like sort of the region where I'm starting to think about pulling at hairs and figuring out what gets a guy above each other, and it was difficult to figure out. But I had Bane here. Excited for what he's going to be able to do in Orlando next year. Should get a lot of opportunity with Jalen Suggs creating some shots and Paolo and Franz taking most of the offensive what's the word, usage. So he should have a lot of open shots and be able to really excel in his role.
Okay, so after discussion about Desmond Bane, we are going to put him on our list for shooting guard. So for an update on my list, since players are bumped down, now Nembhard is off the list. He's now 11, with Norman Powell at 10, RJ Barrett at number 9, which means now my number 8 is Austin Reeves.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Austin Reeves had a very good year for the Lakers this season offensively. I mean, it was just cool. I mean, he's another guy. Talk about not expecting him to be a player that could average 20, especially playing with LeBron and Luka. For a large part of the season, he was one of their most consistent offensive players, for a good, Lakers team that was the 3rd seed in the West.
And his nickname is awesome.
Yeah, AR-15. It's sick. It's very, very, very good. And I was just impressed with how no matter what the lineup looked like with the Lakers, he always found some way to play well.
Are we all caught up? Ben, do you have
All right, I'll just reveal. I have an 8. Got bumped back there from 7. I have Zach LaVine there.
Yep. Okay. So Ben, who do you have? Who do you have at 7?
I have Mikal Bridges at 7.
Mikal Bridges.
Who do you have in the top 5?
I was gonna say I'm so intrigued to hear this top 5.
All right. Speaking of Mikal Bridges,
last episode, Ben had the best point guard list as voted by the fans.
That's right. So we'll see what we got here this time. 6 is where I have Desmond Bane as well, just like Joey.
I got AR-15 at 6.
Oh, nice. All right, AR-15 making it at number 6. But no, Desmond Bane, just a very good player. I mean, the perfect fit there for the Magic. I think they definitely have potential to be to jump up in the East after just an injury-filled season last year. I still think that there's a little bit more that they need to do because now they do have shooting with Desmond Bane, but he's still like the only guy that can really shoot the ball on that team. But he's going to be so important, and he can do a lot of different things. He can shoot the ball. He can handle the ball out of pick and roll. Good passer, good defender. So, Ben, who's your number 6?
I also have Austin Reeves there. So, yeah, let's get me and Nick agree on that.
Now we are in the top 5. Top number 5 is where I have Mikal Bridges.
Also, I have Mikal Bridges at 5.
Yeah, again, just inconsistent regular season, but he still played every single game. It was his first year in New York, having to switch back to a different role than he was with the Nets. And like you said, Ben made some key plays in the playoffs that allowed them to upset the Celtics when not many people in the entire world had that happening. So ended up having a pretty decent year, and he ends up being a top 5 shooting guard on Nick and my list. Ben, what's your number 5? This will be fun. I'm excited to hear this.
Number 5. Yeah, he's just has really impacted winning recently, for the Celtics.
Derek White.
Derek White at 5. He's really impacted winning for the Celtics recently. I mean, he's just been great defensively for them while he's been there the whole time on the Celtics, and his scoring's gotten even better there. I would say he got better score last year. It's pretty good scoring nights last year, and I'm this kind of just projecting into next year too. But I mean, he's gonna have such a big role on their team next year, and they're really gonna be relying on him to score next year. And I believe he could step it up and score pretty well while continuing to provide a great defense. So yeah,
he quickly turns into their second best player after being their 4th or 5th the last couple of seasons. I don't think I ever mentioned it because of the Bane thing. Derek White was number 7 for me, so he was in the middle of where you all had it.
Okay,
Joey, who's your number 5?
I actually have Zach LaVine.
Yep, Zach LaVine is who I had number 4.
So we just switched because I had Mikal Bridges at 4.
Oh, perfect. Makes it easy right there. I mean, LaVine had a great year. I mean, 51% from the field, 45 from 3. I didn't even realize, looking at the stats, he shot the exact same percentages on the same shots for both the Bulls and the Kings. I mean, he had a great year. Regardless of the uniform.
He heard all the media. I mean, everyone was talking about get Zach LaVine out of Chicago. He's washed. What's the package going to be back? And I also had him 4th because I think, like Joey said, I don't think anybody else on this list below him is capable of being a number 1 option the way that he can. So
yeah. I mean, again, the jury is still out on whether or not he can be a winning player because he's entering his 12th year in the league and he's played in 1 playoffs. So jury's still out on that, and we'll see what happens with the Kings. So Ben, who's your number 4?
The number 4 is Desmond Bane.
Oh,
I think.
Okay. Makes sense.
But now we're in the top 3, and just like the point guards, we should have the same 3, right? We should have Quentin Grimes, Colin Sexton, and Shaedon Sharpe.
Yes!
Oh, yeah. But no, number 3. Joey, here's your number 3.
I have D-Book, and it's really the winning that just knocked it down. I don't know about y'all, because the other 2 guys I have ahead of them, and I think we all should, is the winning. The other guys have led their teams to playoffs and to high records. The Suns as a whole, I think, is more of chaotic and terrible, and that's the reason they're bad. It's not on Devin Booker, and he's that fantastic, and he's changed his role, like becoming almost a point guard over the last couple of years in his playmaking. And over the Olympics, he was so flipping good. But I think it's just the winning. They just don't have a good record, and it just impacts you, especially if you're going to be a top 3 kind of guard at that position.
Yeah, and he still had a decent, not decent. He had a very good year. I mean, 25, 4, and 7. Even the efficiencies went down. But even yes, the Suns, it was very chaotic since Matt Ishbia bought the team and started selling everything to try to win so quickly after they had just been to the finals. But even with all that happening, last season, even at the worst of our predictions, Nick had them at the end of the play-in, and they still did worse. There's a reason when we did our GFFs, the Mavericks were the winner of this, but I had the Suns, and they were definitely second on that because there's no way that they should have been that bad. But still a great player, Devin Booker. He'll have the ball a lot more next season as probably the point guard next to Jalen Green, and we'll see how that experiment goes. We'll talk about that more when we get to the Suns in our previews. But Nick, you didn't say anything. Do you have Booker at 3, or do you have someone else?
I think everybody has Book at 3.
Okay, so Booker at 3. All
yeah,
right.
Booker at 3.
Perfect. All right, so Devin Booker at 3. So now it's down to these final 2 guys. I'm curious. Joey, I want you to go first. Who do you have at number 2?
You want me to go?
Yes.
Well, as much I know I showed a lot of hometown bias by putting Garland and being the only one to put Garland on the point guard list. And I had
at number 9, by the way, not even 10.
9, not even
number 9.
At 9. But I'm not showing it here. Donovan Mitchell is my number 2 for the shooting guard. Just he is phenomenal. He's one of the best players I've seen firsthand. Definitely top 10 players I've seen firsthand in person, and he's just consistent. He brought it in the playoffs when we even were starting to look down. He turned it up another level just to try to get us there. It wasn't enough, but he's a playoff performer. He is a regular season performer. He brings you the highlight moments. His defense has gotten better since coming to Cleveland, in my opinion. He's almost a pretty much complete player. He just has to get past the second round.
Yeah, sadly, yeah.
That's literally it.
Did either of you guys have Mitchell at 2 as well?
Yeah, I have him at 2.
Yeah,
I mean, no, I'll talk about him because he continues to impress me.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from the most skeptical Cleveland fan you could imagine, Donovan is a buck. He's the truth. As real as it gets. I was in the building for his 72-point game.
Oh my, yeah, that was crazy.
But I would still argue that if Ant was on the team, that we would have either we got 4 All-Stars, and Ant I think would have maybe have accomplished more than a second round exit in his time if they had swapped roles and destinies and teams.
I would also say though that if Mitchell and that Cavs team got to play a flawed Lakers roster and a Warriors team without Steph Curry, then they would have also done
Mitchell on the Wolves roster.
Yeah, Mitchell on the Wolves. If they were switched, the same thing probably happens.
You think he would have been in the finals by now?
I don't know. I think that we would be in the same predicament.
Yeah.
What else? The other thing I want to say is between these top 3 guys, in terms of talent, skill, it is splitting hairs. They're all some of the best players in the world.
They're literally all elite scorers. They've developed their game to cover other aspects where they've become elite or really good defenders and great playmakers. They really can do it all, even from a shooting guard position.
Yeah, listen, I mean, these top 3 guys, Edwards, Mitchell, and Booker, although none of them have won a title yet, or 2 of them haven't made a finals, and Mitchell hasn't made it past the second round, I think I can confidently say all 3 of these guys can win a championship as a number 1 option in the right, situation.
I think you said 2 of them weren't in the finals. Book was in the
and Mitchell haven't. But no, Donovan Mitchell, just want to give him so much credit for just the season he had, and doing less to achieve more, that was really the big thing. I mean, he kind of took a step back to empower Evan Mobley, who turned into a star, defensive player of the year season, all-NBA player. Garland was back to an all-star. I mean, they kept 64 wins with him taking a step back.
Yeah.
And then in the playoffs, when they needed him to step up with all the guys injured, I mean, he played about as well as he could have played. I mean, honestly, with the circumstances and how great the Pacers were playing, and the injuries, it is hard to see, much more that the Cavs could have done and what Mitchell could have done. I think that there is, an argument that Mitchell could be number one because Edwards, in the playoffs, they obviously made the conference finals again, but didn't put up much of a fight in the conference finals, and they played way weaker competition. But gotta give credit to Ant-Man at number one for continuing to just be a stud. I mean, this season, I remember at the start of the season, I was talking about, why is Anthony Edwards taking 10 threes per game? This is crazy. And then proceeds to shoot like 39.5% on 10 attempts per game. I mean, it doesn't matter how many you're taking if you're knocking them down. So we'll see if he can continue that high volume shooting next year and just improving the playmaking and the passing, when he gets double teamed. That was probably the only thing that we saw like in the playoffs, especially against the Thunder. Both of those guys, Mitchell and Edwards, incredible players.